So I got this slider in. So I got it sort of sitting halfway of my 4-inch little silverware drawer that I'm putting in. So that's the first side. It doesn't really matter really where it goes as long as it's somewhere close to the middle or it's going to catch your drawer. It's when you pull the slider out, you get your drawer propped up right where you want it, and then you pull the third slider out and you start screwing it in one by one, and it slides in quite nice. I'll try and show you. So I have to do the other side. So I just cut a couple blocks in here that I used underneath like that, and that'll be the top ones. I painted the inside, so you're not going to see much. So my cupboard's 4 inches, so I measured down to about 2.5, and had enough meat on it on the bottom, so when I put it in, there was room on the cabinet. Tonight my job is to build the drawer that goes below that one. See, that's what I mean by just put a piece of wood into the height I want it to slide. And when I put the sliders on, but that's the bottom cupboard's going to be there, which is a lot deeper. And then you got to put the bottom one in and then put a piece on that one and do your top one. I'll show you, it's easier. So the drawer was 14 inches, the opening was 15. It's very tight. I put the 1/4 inch on the bottom because that's what I calculate for clearance. And then I'll put whatever I need between that, which is 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Because sometimes the bottom drawer, if there's things too high, it'll catch the top drawer and then you can't get the bottom drawer open. So it's nice to leave a little bit of clearance. And then the top drawer will fit. And then I'm in on this side 3/4 of an inch to an inch really to the outside blue. So when I put my face on, I have a choice between whatever I feel like. 3/4 inch. Okay, my drawer is finished and painted. I'll probably scratched up a bit still, but that's not the front. I'll put a plate on it. So after you put your glides in there, roughly anywhere you want on the drawer slide, on the sides there, pick a spot, and then you just put that back a little bit. I put my 1/4 inch piece of wood underneath to keep it up the height I want. Pull it out a little bit like that. Put the screw in, which I already did because I can't hold the camera and do it at the same time. Then I just come over on this side. Where am I? Somewhere there. Put the screw in. Then I pull out a little slower. Get the second screw in on both sides, that way there it won't tilt. And then for the third and last screw, you slide your drawer out. By pushing this down, it comes out and then exposes the hole where you can put in another screw for strength. And then when you have it out, you can put as many screws as you want. Comes out quite far, so I'm kind of cool with that. And then when it goes in, stops there. Now I have distance. Pull this out. I'll put it on top of this drawer like that, so that when I put my second drawer in, I have 1/4 inch. Calculate it. And do the same thing. Slide the drawer. That's waiting to dry. In. So rest it on a piece of wood. Pull it out a little bit. Put a screw in it. Pull it out a little bit. Put a screw in it. Can't go anywhere. And as you pull it out, it stays lined up, slides back in. And now I have almost an inch to play with there. So I don't know what I'm doing the front with. Could be wood look. Okay, they're a bit stiff, which is okay because I'd rather them be stiff, but they come out far. They line up nice. And a gap along the side. So that'll be silverware and whatever because there's a bit of room past that tray that you usually get. And then this one it's quite deep. plates, cups, coffee mugs. Come on. Just gotta let it dry before I screw it up too much. That's coming along. I figure the box by itself is a sheet of plywood. So whatever that weighs, 70 pounds, 6 pounds. Some trim. Drawers maybe 10 pounds each, maybe not. Glides about 5 pounds each. And then the big glides that hold the big box are for 500 pounds. So I figured 200 pounds and then whatever I put in it. So it should be good. Tiles weigh a little bit, so that makes the box about 200 pounds. Just like that, I decided to use some of the flooring to make a front on here. It's kind of nice. It ties it into the floor. No staining. And that's the latch. So, tongue and groove couple on there, that drawer. And I guess I'll have to match it over there. But that's nice. It comes nice and clean on the edge. I'll have to paint the top or stand or something. Same with the sides. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like that. It's clean. Covers the hinges. Sliders, I mean. So lots of steps. I've put enough blue on that to be sort of happy. And now I'm putting urethane to give it a little protection. While I'm working on that, I'm working on my boxes. So I've put them together. And this is all circular saw and nothing fancy, but try to keep it clean. Floorboards for front, got some handles, and then I'm lining it. It's just this peel and stick material ordered online. Even match the lines. Took a break from building stuff. I found this kind of foam. I was looking for a black mat, but then black looked so not right in all this blue, so I found this rubber foam. And what I've done with it is line the floor under where the drawer is going to go. It adds for a little bit of soundproof, and it just finishes underneath here, like, so the drawer will come to like right to the edge here, and that'll just overhang the metal. We'll see. Just laying there, but it does add some insulation. I think I have enough room because I calculated for a 1/2 inch. So there's the foam. Should act as a little bit of a sound barrier underneath my box. Trim looks a little shiny in the sunlight. Little at a time. You had your turn yesterday. So here's my box. It's coming along. Gotta paint the batten board. Nice size drawer. And I'm gonna try to line up this tile last night a little bit. So as you can see, I have to cut some edges. I tried to pre-measure it for the width anyway, so I don't have any cut edges on the width. The ends should be okay. You just one at a time piece them in. But it's got a nice vibe with the beachy, lots of color going on. I don't know how practical it's going to be being glass. I have glass in my black van, but I have a matting that goes on it when I really use it for cutting and cooking. But this is about the only show that I put in this. Something a little pizzazzy. I don't know if that's even a word, but. So what I did is I sort of pre-lined it up how it was going to fit. And what I did with the box is I kind of built it to the dimension of the tiles a little bit, where I could have been an inch or so bigger on the width. I wanted the width here to be so I don't have to cut the glass on the sides. So basically that's my width with a little bit of grout. So I figured that out, so when I put the trim on top, that's what it would do. Now on the length I got to cut it anyways. So basically I'm going to get to the end and piece by piece I'll have to cut the ends, but it's a little easier to cut it. I'm just going to use the little tile cutter. I might have to change the blade to cut the glass because the glass will shatter and leave little dots like in the edge of the tile. I'll try it with the regular tile blade for now. So I got a tripod now. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but at least it'll maybe hold it steady. Got a small trowel. Doesn't need much. The glass has like a mesh backing, so it'll stick to that really good. You don't want too much glue to be oozing out. I'm just going to spread the glue on the whole box and scrape away the areas that doesn't need the glue because piecing the tiles in are going to take a little while. So I just glob the glue in the middle, work my way from the sides. Nice small rake so it's not messy. Okay, so I'm going to do the first piece against the wood. And I know I'm a little bit off of my measurement on the end, so I'm going to just pull a little bit out. Try to keep it square. Next piece. Pop it down. Check the joints. Put some glasses on for the mold. You should pre-line it up. You can go at it a little faster, but it's not really a rush. And honestly, because it's so many colors in it, depending on your grout, I haven't decided white or blue. I get a knife and I'm just going to cut all the ones that don't fit. And I'll lay it there. So you got the idea. You got to do all of these, which will take a while. Have a sponge hand with water on it and just give it a little scrub. Okay, I've cut most of the ends. Took about 20 minutes. And now I'm just going to cut the last piece. I just took it and marked it. just put a little dab of glue because it got tacky by now, and this will stick good to the old glue. Stick your piece in. Probably just added about 70 pounds, I figure. Maybe not 70. Yeah, 50 anyways. 8 sheets. Yep, looks good. A little bit of leftovers. Now I'll just wait for that to tack up. I'm thinking white would be nice. It would pop like crazy with the white on the sides, but then I'm thinking blue would uniform it so you don't see the flaws. So if you change the color grout, especially when you have a dark tile and you use a light color, you're going to see everything. So you have to make sure your corners are good. I was waiting for my grout to come. I've been doing tiles for quite a few years and could always get grout. All your main stores don't carry the color grout like blue. Sell blue tile but no blue grout. So I had to order this online, $85 for this little box. Which normally I get a huge bag for like 12 bucks. So that was totally ridiculous, but I want it blue. And I'm gonna grout that tonight, see how it comes out. So I mixed it up. It's like porridge. With color grout, you really gotta mix it, let it stand for a little bit, and then get it on. And then once it's on, not a lot of water to wipe it off. If you wet it too much, it dries weird colors. Most color grout does. So the wash is very important. So I stirred it up, got it a nice consistency. You only need a damp sponge, some paper towel to buff later, a float. So I'm just giving it a light damp sponge so grout kind of slides off. I'm just going to play around, squeeze it down, move it around. Sort of squeezing it in and taking it off at the same time. Okay, I'll let that sit for a bit to fog up. So it's been about 5 minutes, starting to haze up. I'll let it sit a little longer, just so I don't wash it out. It's tricky on glass, you gotta wipe it a lot, but carefully. Okay, my sponge is just damp. Get it off all the wood. Yeah, it's the right color. Clean your sponge good. And then diagonally I'm going to do a wipe. One side of the sponge. And then another wipe with the other side on the diagonal. Clean your sponge good. And then after I do this, I clean my water because it gets pretty funky. You do one side and don't swipe twice because you just film it up. Maybe one more damp. Let it dry and then buff with paper towel. So it's sat for a while. Take a piece of paper towel and just lightly buff it. Tomorrow when it's hard, I can take off any roughness. So that looks pretty good. Now when it dries, it'll probably dry lighter, which will be a surprise. I like it the way it is, but so now it's basically time to slide it into the trunk. I'm not sure on the weight. I'd say filled 300 pounds. That's where I'm at.